Hey everybody, welcome back. So we are now on part 8 of our business analysis roadmap, the A to Z to get the job done as a business analyst. What are the exact things we're doing? Our real life project, CRM, moving from CRM in-house to on cloud. What are we doing as business analysts, this project? So let's get right into it. Interesting, pretty sweet. Okay, so analyze needs is a third step. We already looked at situation investigation and problem analysis, and then we looked at considering the perspectives of the stakeholders. Now that we have gathered those information, we now want to analyze the needs of these stakeholders. So some of the tasks that the BA will perform during this stage include conducting your gap analysis. You already have your as-is, your current process. In your to-be, you kind of have an idea of what your to-be will be, but what's the gap there? Okay. So you will analyze the current in-house CRM system, and then you now compare it to the proposed cloud-based system to identify any gaps or shortcomings in the functionality. It will really help you. Gap analysis will really help you ensure that the system is designed to meet the specific needs of the organization. From doing your situation investigation and problem analysis, identifying some pain points and issues that will lead to your to-be. Pain points, solving your pain points is to have a requirement, right? That requirement is not existing in our current system, so it's a gap. So our to be or our proposed cloud-based system needs to meet this. The cloud-based system that we are proposing to get should meet these gaps. Again, what else are you doing during the analyze needs stage? We're identifying our functional requirements, working with the stakeholders to identify all those specific features and functions within the system, right? Within the current system that are required for the new system, or even the new features that will need to go in the new system. And what are we doing here? This may involve creating user stories, creating use cases, or other requirements sort of document to capture these specific stakeholder needs, depending on the methodology of the project, whether it's agile or waterfall. Generally in waterfall, BA will also need to identify the non-functional requirements. However, non-functional requirements is not really a thing that the BA should worry too much about, although it would help to clarify some of your functional requirements, okay, for the new system, such as the performance of the system, the security, all the usability requirements. It will really help you to ensure that the new system is designed to meet the overall goals and objectives. So you want to cover all bases of your requirements. As much as you're gathering this within your analyze needs stage, you also will be prioritizing those requirements as well as developing a requirements traceability matrix. What is this? You can do this on Excel. So this is what will ensure that each requirement is linked to the specific stakeholder need or business need, right? The requirement is linked to the particular department, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, is also linked to the particular stakeholder, the name and all that. You want to make sure that your requirements are traceable, and it's not just you just write somebody's requirement and you don't know whose requirement it is. It just came from the sky. When it comes to the time of going live or delivering, there's a requirement that nobody has asked for. There is no name, there's no trace of it. BA becomes the blame. So you need to make sure you have a requirements traceability matrix so that you document whoever is making this requirement, why they need it, what is the issue, and what problems is it solving. So some examples of this functional requirement for our CRM project include that the new system must be able to capture and store the customer contact information, the purchase history, and other relevant details. Right? This is one. It's part of the as-is, but we want to make sure that this is also in the to-be, right? In your as-is, when you're gathering requirements, you're also gathering the as-is because we're making our as-is the to-be and then adding some new things onto it, okay? So you also need to make sure that those are in your requirements document. Another one is that the system must be able to track leads and sales opportunities through the sales pipeline. Remember, hot and cold, making the lead become a customer as regards to the sales processes, okay? Another requirement is that the system must be able to generate the sales forecast based on historical data, and current trends, right? A final one that I'll share is that the system must be able to segment customer based on demographics, behavior, and other factors. There should be segments within the system, right? That sort of develop or that sort of identify the types of customer, demographic, their behavior, and all of the other things. Non-functional requirements. One of them could be that the new system must our own cloud system, because we have our in-house, maybe we have thousands of customer details. Our non-functional is that the system must be able to handle high volume of customer data without experiencing any significant performance issues. We don't want our system to have issues, right, or system to malfunction when we need it the most due to high volume of customer data. So whatever on cloud system we're going for, it needs to be able to handle high volume of customer data. Another non-functional is that the system must be able to ensure security and privacy of customer data. We need to ensure that the right people are able to access certain information, and not just any random person can access customer data, because they are GDPR. We need to make sure that we're abiding by the GDPR rules. Another one is that the system must be easy to use and navigate for all stakeholders, including the sales, marketing, as well as customer service teams. So our lower level there, this is like high level non-functional. Our lower level will then split each of these sales, marketing, customer service. We'll split them and identify what are their individual non-functionals. Yeah, but we are at high level at this stage, because all this information that we're gathering is what we will then use to inform what our desired on-cloud system. Right, so all these details that we are gathering from situation investigation, problem analysis, and analyzing the needs is what will go into that RFP document, the request for proposal, which is what we will then send to potential vendors that will be able to meet our needs. They will then send us a proposal to say, okay, this is what we can do, this is how we can do it, this is how much it will cost, this is how much it will take. Okay, so all these information that the business analyst is uncovering will really help towards creating that RFP document. Okay, so this is a very significant, important step of the business analyst approach. Another non-functional requirement is that the new system must be accessible from anywhere, including mobile devices and remote locations. This is one of our requirements that you've gathered when talking to the stakeholders. These are all high level, by the way. You also will, from this, you also will provide a gap analysis report, which is just steps. You just need to write it in whatever document it is you're creating. So what gap analysis, what exactly does our current system not have that is a gap that we need to fill? And this include that the current in-house CRM system does not have the ability to generate sales forecasts or segment customer based on behavior and other factors. So it must have been creating some workarounds in the current processes or a few manual things, right? So that's a gap that we would like to fill. Another gap is that the system does not provide customer service representative with access to customer information and history. They're not able to find certain information, which makes their work harder for sales. Another one is that it doesn't provide the ability to execute the targeted marketing campaigns. This is a high requirement on the marketing team's list. Okay, now you now want to prioritize the requirements list. How do you do this? During your analysis, you will do it again throughout the whole stage or the whole steps of the BA approach. You are constantly interacting with your stakeholders to confirm some requirements, as well as to prioritize them and together with your team to really understand what is the high priority for us. So one of the priority here is the ability to capture and store customer contact information, their purchase history, and other relevant details in the top priority for the new system, right? Another one is ability to track leads, sales opportunities through the sales pipeline is another top priority for the sales team. In fact, most of them will be top priority because, again, stakeholder perspectives for each of their areas is priority for them. but you would have some that are not necessarily the highest priority. Now, your requirements traceability matrix as well, like I mentioned, you want to make sure that you're documenting who is asking for what, why they're asking for it, and what problem is solving. So that's it for part 8. Analyzing the needs. What are the things we're doing here as business analysts? What document are we completing, and how are we helping the team to identify the best vendor that's going to solve this problem for us? I hope you've enjoyed today's video. As always, don't forget to like and share. Comment down below, ask me any questions, happy to answer. Share with your family, your friends, your enemies. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.